joining me. I've got all my goodies and I am ready to play. So this week, just to expedite the process a bit, I pre-trimmed all of my photographs, the 3x4 and the 4x6. So laying them out. And I am doing the week 24 spread really just focusing on our weekend. I will journal about the entire week, but the photographic element of the spread will include just images from our weekend. So I am also using the July Studio Calico Project Life kit here. Really cute. The colors worked seamlessly with the photographs that I have. Those orange kayaks are very vibrant in the photographs, and as it happened, many of the PL cards in the July kit also had some orange, and so I've pulled those out and they are working so well. I'm quite pleased. One of the wonderful elements included in the July kit are the vellum pockets. So I'm using two of them, the brown and the orange, in this week's spread. The inside was a little more narrow than I anticipated, and so I had to fiddle a bit to kind of trim down my little tags that I wanted to place inside of the two vellum pockets. So at this point, I'm doing what I do, which is to take each of my photographs and to place them on some white cardstock or white Project Life card. I have a couple options in terms of which 3x4 cards I might want to use, and so just, placing one down, interchanging it with another until I have a combination that works. Now I have these two images, and I could have used both the photograph of the moms and the photographs of the dad side by side on the bottom right hand of the spread. However, this is a very photograph heavy layout, and so what I want to do is find some interactive or kind of hidden ways to incorporate additional photographs. So the way that I achieve that this week is to create what I'm going to call a pocket folder. So I take some dimensional tape and I place the dimensional tape on three sides of the photograph, on the back of the photograph. And there we go on the bottom. Once that's done, I take another white card and adhere that to the back of the photograph. Now I've created a pocket. Now when I go to put the image of the mom photograph inside, that photograph is a tad too big because the dimensional tape is taking up space. So I have to go back and just slightly trim the mom photograph, which is easy enough. And now look, it fits perfectly. So I do want to include a tag so that it will allow the photograph to be pulled easily from the little pocket that I've created. So once I kind of test that out to make sure I have it at the right height, I use my little tiny attacher, and we've got a pocket, my friends. I go to my handy dandy Tim Holtz letters. Cannot get enough of these things. Fortunately, when I found them, I bought like 4 packs. Okay, so I wrote or spelled out pull on the top of that tag, so any person flipping through my album would know that there's a photograph or something at least to look at behind the photograph of the dads. Okay, so that little card that with the little black circle is really cute, but I'm pondering some other options. I printed out some other printable pocket fillers, Project Life cards. I will put the little linkies down below in the description if you're interested. I end up going with a collection that's available on lilypad.com, and again, I'll put the linky down below. It's a really cute little 4x6 card with some fun little phrases. The card actually reads, to do, count the stars, swim with mermaids, dance with fairies, grow wings, fly to Jupiter. So I love that. It just seems appropriate for this spread. So in addition to the printable pocket filler cards, I also printed out some more of Just Jamie's labels. And so I've already pre-trimmed them, and so I'm just kind of taking a look at my stash that I have. She has a new July release that is just absolutely phenomenal. Fun, bright, great colors. And so I'm using several of the tags from Just Jamie's July release on this week's spread. I do need to go into my little stash to find some additional tags and labels as well. So once I've identified the tags that I want to use, I begin to layer them on this little Project Life card that came in the July Studio Calico kit. I like the card with the black circle. However, the phrase is a little odd to me. It reads, "A beautiful thing is less than perfect," or something like that. And while I get the concept of imperfection and beauty, and that's a wonderful sentiment, it just, I don't know, it was just a little bit off for me. And so I decided to cover up the part about imperfection. And so I layer several kind of tags over it. And then I set it aside because I'm not sure where I'm going to go at that point. So I step away from the screen and I go pull out my typewriter and I journal on several tags and labels. So with that first label, I back it with the orange Project Life card just to give it a little bit more weight and sturdiness as people pull out the journaling, and stick it right into that little vellum pocket. I can't help myself, so I begin to layer more labels. Say that fast 20 times. So I'm going to continue to remove the elements that I've journaled on and to place them either in the pocket or on the spread itself. If I find more of those little vellum pockets, or maybe I'll create some. Woohoo! They're great. Really, really like them. Ooh, that gives me an idea. I think I'll try that. Okay, that's for another time. So I also labeled or journaled on this little label here, and it says Happy Father's Day. However, that label just seemed too large, and it was kind of going over my husband's face. And I tried to trim it down a bit, couldn't make it work. I tried a vellum printable that I created earlier and to try to cut that shorter and make that work. But I wasn't feeling it. So, I pull out these little stickers from the July, chipboard stickers from the July Studio Calico kit. Love, love, love it. And it's like this fake wood veneer look, which is perfect for kind of this camping themed layout. I also have some journaling for this card with my son and a friend. However, in the end, I don't actually keep the label on this card because the label was interfering with the background of the trees and kind of the peacefulness of the scene to 13-year-olds not on their iPhones but playing cards in the middle of the woods, and I didn't want the label to get in the way of all that. Okay, so now back to this little card, this printable card. So really, really cute. I trim it down a bit to use it on a 3x4 card instead of as a 4x6. But something about that just is not working quite right for me. So what do? I chop it up. So now, and I like this much better, it kind of has a funky, free-flowing look. So again, I've got to do. Count the stars, swim with mermaids, dance with fairies, grow wings, fly to Jupiter, and I added with my typewriter, camp with friends. I love that. I mean, it's crazy simple, but just something about cutting up the little phrases to me makes it cuter. I know, I'm wonky and weird, but hey. But even if you didn't have a printable card, you could just do that either with your own handwriting or again using a typewriter or something, and then just cut the phrase up, and I think it adds a really extra fun look. Okay, so you see I removed the initial label that I had for that photograph with my son and a friend, and instead just went for something a little bit more simplistic and I think interferes less with the photograph itself. So this month in the Studio Calico kit, There were also some really fun wood veneer items, focusing on like a deer, or some of the little tags have like one deer foal or you are deer, stuff like that. So that's cool. And again, it fit with kind of this campy theme that I have going on. So I pull a few of those wood veneer items out and include them on the spread as well. In some cases, I layer tags or labels and the wood veneer together. Now I'm trying to figure out, what do I do next? So I'm pondering whether or not I want the wood veneer and a little label to kind of hang off the top of that photograph. In the end, I decided just to go with the wood veneer. Some weeks I will include a lot more kind of little embellishment clusters on a photograph. This week, I really like the photographs, all taken with iPhones, but they came out nicely. And so I didn't want to mess with them too much and try to keep the embellishments to a minimum on the photographs themselves. So in this case, I was working with two 3x4 photographs of my son, and I need to move that photograph to the right. So I'm literally flipping the entire spread. All of the kayak images are going to the left, and all of the other images are going to the right. Because, and you'll see shortly, I create another kind of pull-out opportunity with that photograph of my son holding the stick, and that will only work on the right side of the spread, because that's the way that the Project Life little plastic fillers work. So those cards would not be accessible. The photographs would not be accessible on the left side. Again, another photograph that I really, really like. It's simple, this kind of side shot of my son, but I wanted something on that photograph, but I don't want to add too much. So using that little punch, and that is some wood veneer, almost the last little bit that I have from it was like an 8.5 by 11 wood veneer sheet, and I've just been using bits and pieces of it for months and months. So I like the tag on that photograph better, and the fact that it's wood, it kind of just seems, to me at least, to kind of blend into the photograph quite nicely. All right, pulling out my bowl of wood veneer. Sometimes I ponder organizing it, but I have to say, I just kind of like digging in the bowl. I don't know, it makes me happy. So at this moment, I am looking for arrows. At least that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. So I'm looking for some arrows, and I want 3 different arrows, and I find them and I staple them to the photograph, and it's good to go. These little, I forget, they're like buttons. They work nicely, but they have a lot of dimensional tape underneath them, so I pull the dimensional tape off and use some just plain adhesive so that I don't have too much height in my Project Life album. I don't mind a little bit of chunkiness, but I should tell you that I have officially, with week 23, moved to album 2 for this year. So I only got 22 weeks in my Project Life 2013. We're in 2013, 2014. I'm all confused. In my Project Life 2014 album. So I am conscious of not making things too clunky and too bulky, although that worry doesn't overwhelm me, because obviously I do like to layer and have a little bit of fun. All right, since I put some of those pink letters on the left side of the page, you know me, I can't help myself, so I put some pink letters on the right side of the spread as well. Just wanting to make sure that the pink is carried throughout the entire layout. Okay, I found these Tim Holtz little plastic letters on clearance the other day, And generally, I try to stay out of the craft store, but okay, I couldn't help myself. Don't tell my husband. Um, so I bought them, and I'm going to use them today. So I've pulled off a few of the labels that I'd included on this card. And so now I'm going to create a little title card, but it's going to be a little bit wonky and different from what I normally do. So I kept the A Beautiful Thing, but now it's reading A Beautiful Thing is Camping. And then I'm including the week. And these little Tim Holtz plastic letters are really fun and pretty easy to move around, but also they do adhere quite nicely to the paper as well. So I had no idea what I was really going for and what I was going to kind of spell out on this card, nor did I have an idea if everything would fit. But I was just kind of rolling with it, and this time it all fits and works, and I love the way it turned out. So A Beautiful Thing is Camping, week 24 with fam and friends. And I didn't know if that S was going to go, but it does! Oh my gosh! So that's a very different type of title card, but for me, I don't have a particular kind of method or formula that I apply when creating my title cards. And so I like that each one is pretty different week to week, but I wanted to make sure that I included the dates of the week. So in this, on top of this orange vellum pocket, I am including the actual dates of the week. You know, there are no rules that the dates have to go on a particular page or a particular place. And so I like that I can always be flexible, try different things, and it's okay. So I step away again and I go journal some more on a 4x6 card. And it ended up being a lot of text. I journaled not only about the camping weekend, but about our entire week. So in addition to the little bits of journaling included in the vellum pockets, I have the journaling card as well. Now I go to my little Cricut stash of goodies, just kind of pre-printed or cut items, and just pulling out some things to see if they will fit. And I end up going with this memories on that card. And I like the way that looks, and for me it still keeps it pretty clean and simple. And since I have kind of the white bold lettering on one side, I go for it on the left. So I emboss using that sunburst, a little bit of wood veneer, the chipboard steel calico, and I place that on top of the journaling. Now why, you ask? Because for me, all of that text with the busyness of the photographs was overwhelming my eyes. And so I felt like I needed some kind of white space again. And so by creating kind of a little pocket journaling and covering that with just a simple white Project Life card, just lightly embellished, that seemed to really solve the problem. Here again, I have two images, and I want both. I couldn't choose. So I've placed one behind the other and included a tag and some letters that say pull. So again, somebody looking at the album would know there's something behind the photograph on the top. I've got a little bit of tape here, and so I'm just putting some here and there on the layout. And just a final touch or two. And guess what, my friends? Done! Thank you so much for stopping by. This was, for me, I suppose, a fairly quick layout and a fairly simple layout. No real fancy kind of techniques, but I did enjoy playing with my goodies, and I loved the photographs from our camping trip. If you have not gone camping, please go try camping. It's wonderful. A great way for families to get together, to reconnect with each other, and let go of all the electronics. Have a great summer and hugs to ya.